For African Americans, it's not a recession. We're in a depression because if a recession is 3 straight cycles, we've been in it for 6. It started for black, we've been at double digits since 2005. We didn't wait until 2009. And African American men have been at double digits since the latter part of 2004. So there's a fierce urgency now. And I'm sitting there like, excuse me? The Black Caucus had to speak out. Ben Jealous had to speak out. Mark Morial, don't be confused just because they're speaking out that they're all of a sudden Rush Limbaugh. No, this is no Limbaugh moment. They're trying to save. They're trying to save people from drifting into poverty and to despair. So it's your turn. Seize the moment. It's your turn. Believe in it. Thank you, sir. Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Brazile, thank you very much for being here, and thank you for fighting the good fight. My question is this: you're in the media, and I watch you, and I know that you're there to step in the breach and try and illuminate when other people seem to want to make a name for themselves. At one time, we could depend on the media to provide the illumination and to help explain, and now people seem to want to determine outcomes. And so the conceptualizations of things are often distortion, like the myth of the supermajority. Like how can you have a supermajority when 2 of the people are independent and caucus with you, and 1 was primed to be the vice president on the opposite party's ticket? So how can you talk about supermajority? Because when you say that, it means that the Democrats had an opportunity to do something that they didn't do. And so I guess I'd like you sort of talked about communication, but the press plays an important role in communication and seems to have kind of abdicated its responsibility. And there are few people that are out there that try and correct the perceptions. But what do you see, and where do you see the press going in helping to just at least tell the truth?
That and I'm not a cynic. I believe in optimism, and you have to gird yourself every day. And there's a scripture: "May the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable to thee, thy God." You have to know that ratings drive performances, and once those lights come on, people, I've seen these people, they actually perform. They just perform. I emailed a Republican colleague last night. And I said, is there one good thing? I found one good thing to say about George Bush. I did. Yeah. And I wanted to, it was not about tax cuts and not about what, but I said, is there one good thing you all can say about President Obama? And her response to me was, well, he hasn't said any good thing about Bush. I'm like, oh God, we're tit for tat. So, but and the journalism that I see being conducted today is that they believe the country, the divisions, they like to exploit the divisions. Mm-hmm. There's no quote unquote currency and getting me to sit there and say, okay, I can tell you 3 things. President Obama mentioned them last night that I can work with Republicans on. But I will never get that same kind of love from the other side. And so I think we have to constantly challenge the media, just like I'm willing to call up, email Anderson when I say, they're not bodies, they're not bones, they're human beings. They're somebody's mama, somebody's daddy, a sister. I mean, it's Americans too. You have to challenge the media. But don't get me wrong, we do challenge them, but they're all in this mode to become Fox-like or anti-Fox, as if that's now the new standard. So we have to do a better job of calling them out, but it's tough. Every day when I get my topics, I say, the first thing I say to I say, did you all read Drudge? Can you read something else? It's all negative. And it's always trying to, either defend something or to try to explain. And I never saw it this bad during the Bush years. But I knew soon after 9/11, it has gotten worse. So we have to do a better job. But it is a very difficult environment. That's why I tell people I remain calm. Every now and then, if you see me lose my calm, that's because the biggest lie has been told, and I can't let that one go. I'm like, I'm breaking the spirit. No, I'm about to let you have it. No, that's not good. But it's a difficult environment. And we have, and I try to promote as many people as I possibly can, not just on CNN, but MSNBC and Fox. And the other day, President Obama hosted a little get-together with all of us. It was so good to look around the room and see so many women and minorities that are out there on cable TV trying to defend and represent. And I'm pleased that he's encouraging that as well. But we need to do more. And I'm willing to do more. I know from the CNN angle and ABC.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ms. Brazile, for coming. My name is Malik Washington. I'm a senior here. I hope you saw my Twitter mentions because I love you so much. I just wanted to mention that.
All right.
I'm just
Congratulations.
I'm so glad that you're here. What I want to say is that the spirit is there amongst many of us. I know that I have been very dissatisfied with much of the progress. So the spirit is there to still push and fight on in the way that King would. As you said, is like the day after, right off of the stage. So what I want to ask you is, what is the best way? What way can the black community, and more specifically, can the young black community hold President Obama accountable? And what is the best way to do that?
Well, this is your moment, so you have to seize it. It's your time, so you have to believe it. And I think the most important thing to not only hold him accountable, but to keep the movement for change alive, so that it is a movement, a progressive movement, not a regressive movement, is that you continue to press for those issues that you stood up and voted for. Whether it's bringing our troops home from Iraq, investing more in job creation and health care, whatever you stood in line for. I know why I stood in line. I stood in line so we could have a president that when the flood waters ever raged again, somebody would go and get the people out. I wanted a president who would respond to the needs of the people. I didn't want a president who became Bush-like. And that's why I tell my Republican friends, he has kept many of the former president's policies. And he gets no credit for keeping many of George Bush's policies. He should get credit for overturning some. But we need to understand that he needs not only our praise, but he needs our win, our ability to push him. He cannot only hear from moderates or conservatives. He needs to hear from us, but not in an angry voice. You get enough anger. He needs us to help explain what it is we're for and to stand with him. And as I mentioned, go through that stimulus package. Look at those new green jobs, the green economy. Help those who are unemployed, who are seeking work in this new economic downturn. Help them fill out the paperwork. Going to a community college is almost free. There's a $4,000 tax credit. There's a $5,000 grant. Help them be able to apply to 4-year institutions or 2-year institutions. There's so much we can do that could help keep the movement alive. And I don't have all of the specifics because I can give you a laundry list. I try to keep them all in my desk every day. But Malcolm X's widow was a good friend of mine, Betty Shabazz. And she used to tell us all the time, find the good and praise it. Find the good and praise it. If you did that, you will go a long way in not only keeping President Obama accountable, but the rest of the people accountable on Capitol Hill. And that's what, that will make a difference. But change is not just at the top, it's at the bottom. And if I was your age, I would look to ways to re-energize in my community. A lot of our people are in despair. I know because I spent a great deal of time in the Gulf. And they were worried about going home. And I said, I'm going to fight. You got to stay right where you are, where you come from, and fight for your community. That library that I went to every day as a child is back up in Louisiana. We have books again. That playground that I helped is back up again. You got to believe in who you are and start right from where you sit. That's the only way you can keep someone else accountable, if you hold your own self accountable. And that's how you make a difference.